blanket, so I would suggest having some items around that could be helpful for you. Maybe a blanket, some blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. I have some other items over here that I'll get you acquainted with. But if you have maybe paint cans, if you have gallons of water, things like that, they're really great to elevate your hands on. So you can have any of those items around. I also like to take blankets and pillows to kind of give a little prop and a little lift here. So if you want to take a moment, and you can take some blankets, some pillows. Throw pillows are great to use here. So we're just going to find a nice seated space. We'll lift the shoulders up, back, and down a few times. Nice big deep breath in, and exhale it out. So I want you to take a moment here to close your eyes. Let the palms face up, and we're just going to take a few big deep breaths together. So right now, especially, it's kind of a time when maybe we're holding our breath and we're keeping a lot of tension in our shoulders. So I want you to really relax your shoulders. Take a big deep breath in through your nose. Feel your belly rise. Maybe even place a hand on the belly. Exhale it out through your mouth like a sigh. Taking another breath in. Exhaling out. Let's take one more. Now I want you to continue with that breath, but keeping your mouth closed. Just like you were going to sigh out, but keep the mouth closed here. Kind of start to hear your breath, like a nice little rumbling whisper in the back of the throat. Let's soften through the face, the jaw, the shoulders. The back of the neck feels long. The crown of your head feels light. Taking one more breath. One of the most important things we can do to calm our nervous system is to slow our breath down. It helps us feel more grounded, more centered. So then letting your arms just kind of drop down out to the sides. If you want to keep your eyes closed, please feel free to continue here. Maybe with a soft slit in the eyelids or just eyes closed. Let your head fall to one side. Taking a moment to pause, just letting your shoulders stay relaxed. And coming back to center with a breath in and exhale. Let the head fall to the other side. Continuing to always remind yourself that this is your practice. You're here for you. If I give you a suggestion, it doesn't feel quite right, you can do what feels right to you. So continuing here, side to side. If it feels better to be seated in a chair right now, feel free to do that. We're just letting the head gently drop over and then come back to center. The next time your head drops over to your left side, take a little pause. And then just let your left hand kind of float up and reach across over to the right ear. We're not pulling, we're not yanking, we're just hanging out here. So let your head gently fall. Imagine there's a weight sitting on top of your right shoulder. Take a deep breath in, let the head relax, the neck soft. We hold a lot of tension in our shoulders and in our neck, especially situational tension. So let your head fall gently forward and let your head slide back, or your hand slide back just a little bit toward the back of your head. Just a little. Maybe your fingertips are right there at the hairline, your nose pointing down towards your left knee. So that's situational tension, meaning stress from daily life, from situations, from very specific things that are going on in your life right now. There's a lot going on, as we know. Let's come back to center, and that might be landing in your neck and your shoulders. So I want you to release your hand slowly. Let your head come back up. Let the head fall to the other side. Just take a moment, relax. Take a deep breath. Let the head fall with your exhale. Hand comes up, rest over to the opposite ear. Again, never pulling, never yanking. We're going to be mindful we're not kind of leaning over. We're just resting here. Trying to lengthen and Stretch out through the side of your neck just a bit. Let the shoulders stay heavy and down. Again, let your nose kind of turn towards your right knee now, and your hand just kind of slides around to the hairline at the top of your neck, base of your skull. Take another big deep breath in, exhale it out. So we're going to work from head to toe today. Try to get a little more movement in the body, relax, sense throughout the nervous system. Let's come back to center and just release that hand. Let the head come back up. We'll lift the shoulders up, back, and down. So take a nice big rock and roll with your shoulders. So lift up and pull back. Inhale, gently coming forward. Exhale, pull back. So if you're just joining, hello and welcome. And do remember, you could grab a blanket. You can grab pillows. I highly suggest having additional props around. You don't have to, but it just makes it more comfortable. So if you have a chair that's nearby, you might even want to have that handy, or an ottoman. So I want this to be very accessible for you. So let's relax through the shoulders, hands on the knees. So inhale, I want you to lift through your heart. And then exhale, begin to roll back very slowly. Pull the belly in, rounding out. Inhale, lifting up. Be mindful that your head doesn't just kind of rock all the way back. Maybe you slightly lift through your chin, but then you exhale and pull back. Let the chin drop. Inhale, lifting up. Just creating more mobility through the neck, the shoulders, the back, through your spine. Exhale, rounding through your hips even. Take one more breath in. So just these simple movements can be done seated in a chair, can be done in your car, like you're sitting at a stoplight. You know, we're not going as many places now, so maybe you're spending less time in your car, but we most definitely are probably sitting still quite a bit. So this is something you could do anytime, pretty much anywhere. So I want you to stop here for just a moment. Let's pause. Take the arms out to the side. I'm going to release my pillows. But if you wanted to take your legs out, or let's just take a little switch of your legs, whichever leg was in front. So if it's starting to bother your knees, just let your legs come out with a soft bend in the knees. You do not have to keep them crossed, right? We call this easy seated pose, but it's not so easy, right? For a lot of people, it's just not easy. So I want you to take what's right for you. Take your right arm and just reach it over to the side, like you're going to kind of reach out to touch something, and then let the hand rest. Take the left arm up and just reach. As you're starting to reach, just notice if your sit bones are pushing to the mat. So the bones beneath you, your left knee, your left hip, your left thigh staying down, and getting a nice long reach over on that left side waist. If it bothers your shoulder, hand can always come down to the shoulder or down to your hip. So again, just move to where it's right for you. Come back up, inhale. Exhale slowly, like you're reaching out with your left hand first, and then soften the elbow. Anchor on your right side. Anchor the right hip, the right knee, the right thigh. You could imagine that somebody is kind of standing on that thigh, the inner thigh, or sitting on your lap. Come back to center. If you have kids home right now, you might have a kid sitting on your lap. That's okay. This will work. It'll work for both of you. So you can both reach and lean and come back to center. Maybe your pet is all over you. That happens a lot at home. Pets love yoga. So it makes sense. I mean, we have cat pose, we have dog pose. So of course they love yoga. It's named after them. All right, so come around. Let's take the left hand across, taking a nice twist. Oh, beginning to really, really move in that spine. Taking it to the other side. And then come back to center. Let's take another moment here. And we'll just gently walk forward. So once again, if that bothers your knees, take your legs out with a soft bend in the knees. I'm going to gently round. So your level of rounding may be different than mine. You might be way up here going, that's it. That's okay. Stay there. But if you feel like reaching out further, it's your choice. All right? So no judgment here, wherever it feels right for you. Let's take that again. Reach forward. Any pressure in your knees, release the legs, or take a seat on an ottoman or a chair and do the same thing. Just reaching down, stretching in your back, and come back up. Very nice. All right, let's come on over. So if you have a blanket or you didn't have one already and want to grab it, please go ahead and do that. I like to keep my knees cushioned a little bit. So as we come into a little tabletop position, hands on the floor, shoulders pulling back, belly pulls up and in just a bit. Okay, so now this is our neutral tabletop position. We're going to let the spine fall, shoulders roll back and down, tail rising, head just a little gaze forward. And then exhale, pull the belly in, lift up, round out, let your head fall. If you're new to this practice and the breath seems to not be coming at the same time as the movement, it's okay. Just keep going. Right? It all becomes more natural over time. The important thing is that you are breathing. It doesn't really matter in which order, just find a breath in and a breath out. We'll take a couple more here. Deep breath in. The most important thing again, you're moving and you're breathing. Exhale out. And if those breaths get backwards from what I'm suggesting, don't worry, don't stress. It's okay. Let's come back to center. If you find that it's bothersome for your wrist here, take a little soft fist or come down to your elbows. That's another option that you could take. There's a few others, but this is a couple that are really simple to do. So little soft fist or down to your elbows. So I want you to take your left leg, reach it back. Toes are turned under, belly pulls back up and in. So you're really strong through your core. Our core helps support our entire body, all right? So when we lift that left leg up, core stays engaged. So we're building a little strength here as well. Deep breath in. Notice if your left hip kind of lifted up and over. It happens. I want you to see if you can rotate all 5 of your toes on your left foot toward the floor. I feel like your inner thigh was going to kind of rotate in. Good job. Take another deep breath here. Let's take a little knee to nose. So slowly move that leg in. Get a nice little rounding. We're starting to really stretch and move through the core. Inhale, reach. Nice little exhale, pull it in. Imagine that you were just moving through water. Take one more here. Inhale. Exhale, pull it in. Then take that leg back. Turn the toes under again. Now see if you can roll over onto your right hand, your right knee, your right foot. We'll just kind of come behind you. I've rolled over all the way to the inside of that left leg. Just a nice little side plank position on the knee. If again it bothers your hand, go to an elevated surface. Put your hand on a chair. Put your elbow on the floor. Do something that feels right for you. Take a break when you need it. Maybe circle out the hand that's up and then circle it the other direction. Very nice. And we're going to come back to center. So as we float back to center, the toes stay on the floor of the back leg. We bring the knee in. Okay. Now shifting your right leg back. Inhale. Float that leg up and take a pause. Draw the knee in towards your chest. Inhale, take it back. Nice little reach through your foot. Nice and slow. Build some strength. Build some awareness. Pull the belly in. If it bothers your hands, once again, take your hands up on something higher. You could do this kind of from standing. Your hands could be on a table, and you can still do this. Your leg just won't go quite as far back, or maybe you lean over a little bit toward that table or the chair. Okay, come back to center. We're going to take that leg back. Take a moment, turn the toes under. You can drop the toe to the floor, and then start to rotate on your left hand or your left elbow. And bring that left foot with you. So reaching up back into your little side plank, watching your shoulder and wrist alignment or elbow. So those are in line. I want you just to circle that top hand a few times. Your gaze can just be forward or even down to your hand. Okay. Rotate the other way. Come back to center. And let's just find a nice child's pose. So knees move out toward the edges. If you're on a mat, if not, just nice and wide, wherever that is for you. Let your head fall. If it's uncomfortable here, take a blanket or a pillow and place it right behind your heels to sit on. You could also stack your hands like little fist tower or hands one on top of the other. It's all about doing what's right for you. That's what our yoga practice is about. It's not about looking like someone else. It's not about looking like someone on Instagram or in an ad. It's just about doing what feels right for you. This is your yoga. All right, come on up. Let's come back into that space that we were just in, into that tabletop position. So here, go ahead and take your left leg and step it forward. Now, if it didn't get very far, take hold of it, bring it forward a little more. Okay, you can also turn toes under on the back leg and just give a little bit of lift and a shift, like a shimmy, 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 all the way back. So I want you to now check out your front knee. Knee over heel alignment, and if you're already here going, oh, this is just a little much for me, all right, that's okay. You may not have yoga blocks, but this is where I was going to say handy dandy paint cans will work. A gallon of milk or water, make sure it has liquid in it because it's nice and sturdy that way. I like the paint can because it's a nice surface like your block, and it's about the same height. All right, so if you want to use that, you go grab one, or just know in the future. You can have household items. You don't have to have yoga equipment. All right, so take one hand down. We'll take that hand, pull it in, or your hand can rest right here. All right, so we're gonna lift the other arm up. Take a nice big sweep over to the side. So our left arm is reaching right now, and then we're gonna swap sides. So your left hand can rest on your thigh. Your right hand can come up. So left hand could also be resting on a prop of any kind right here, or just dangling by your side, your choice. Depends on how much support you like to have around you. Let's come back to center. I'm gonna move my handy dandy prop out of the way for a moment. Come on back to center. Let's take that to the other side. So step back very slowly, maybe even stretch that leg out, get that hip flexor long, bring it back down. So now taking your right leg, step it forward. If it got stuck and that knee is past your toes or over your toes, I want you to step it up there, give it a little help. Turn toes under, shift your back leg further back. We start to rise up, again, either on a prop, I'm gonna use a block this time, lifting up. So from here, you can take a big sweep up with your right arm and reach to the opposite side. Maybe your prop comes further out if you're using one. Maybe you're holding onto a table, a chair, whatever it might be. Sometimes doing yoga in a nice confined area can be really nice because you have stuff around you like a wall, right? So take it to the other side. If you want to have a prop to your right, left arm sweeps up. And then bring it back down. Let's take that right leg back again. Inhale, shift it back, exhale, straighten it out. Bring it all the way down, and then sit back into child's pose. So as you inhale, coming up, let's just take a little journey here. We're turning the toes under, lifting up and pressing back. So you can walk across, if you have a blanket, make sure it's not too thick, but you can walk across it and come to the top of your mat, hands resting toward the floor on a prop or just dangling. Bend the knees to make sure that you're not pulling on your low back with your hamstrings. So then we'll just take the hands, slide them up above your knees. Keep the knees softly bent and lift the heart up. All the way to standing. Nicely done. Okay, so from here, let's inhale, sweep the arms up, big sweep up. Exhale, softly bend the knees, hinge from your hips, deepen that hip crease. Let the heart fall forward. See if you can slide your hands up again towards your knees, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, sweep up, lift your heart first. Come up with a bent knee, and then hands coming down to heart center. So inhale, we're moving fairly slow today. Nothing wrong with that. Whenever I get up in the morning, I start with these half salutations, right? And my body feels really stiff, and I have to go really slow and just start to kind of, it's like peeling the layers back every morning. Okay? Inhale, sweep. Exhale, fold. Maybe you're getting a little longer now, so your hips can lift a little higher when you fold. Slide up halfway, inhale. And let's exhale, stepping your left foot back. So if your hands need to be elevated, take them onto something. I'm gonna step that left foot and then float it way back there. So now your right knee over right heel again, dropping left knee down. Well, take that little sweep up. So again, use props at any point that feels right for you. Look at your front knee. Make sure that it's in line with your heel. Safety first here. I want you just to drop the left hand, reach with your right arm. Come back to center. If that feels a little too intense, I want you to just place your hand on your thigh. Reach with your left arm. Make sure your tailbone is kind of dropping down rather than feeling like it's kind of swaying or kicking up. Let's bring it back down. Step your right foot back. Bring your right knee back with your left knee. Shift your hips forward, hands under the shoulders, and let's slowly just lower yourself all the way down to the mat or down to the floor, whatever you're on. Take a little lift with your heart, not overarching, just a little lift, shoulders back. Your bottom, your glutes are engaged, your buns are like steel, pushing together, and then bring it back down. Here we go. Turn the toes under. You can lift right back up where you came from on your knees. And let's shift back either to a child's pose, pressing back, or all the way into down dog if that's your favorite pose. All right, so if this is already something in your practice, you can go to down dog, and then we could also come up to down dog after child's pose. So those two are pretty interchangeable. Let's walk it forward. Standing forward bend at the top of your mat or to where you began. Lifting halfway up, float the heart. Exhale down. Inhale, start to sweep up, lift the heart. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hope now that we're starting to feel a little more warmed up. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Let's send that right foot back so it begins to slowly, with intention, reach it back and then just drop it down like a big lunge back. Then dropping your right knee, making sure you have lots of space here from the front knee to your hip, okay, rather than having your heel pulled way back. So making sure your heel is right underneath that hip, or right underneath that heel, excuse me. Sweep up. You can take again, props anytime you like. Taking your right arm down, left arm reaching. Come back up, inhale, taking your left hand down. Again, it could always be supported. Right arm reaching. And then come back up to center. Come all the way forward. Stepping your left leg back. So sweep it back however you like. Sometimes I like to put the hand on the inside of that leg so it's easier to sweep back. Hands right underneath your shoulders. Notice if your hips are back here and your bottom is lifted. I want you to kind of tuck it down a little bit and leave it about there, right? Inline shoulders, hips, and knees. Let's lower down nice and slow. See if you can kind of aim your elbows to the back of the room. Inhale, uncurl your toes, push down through the tops of your feet. Lift your heart up, not big. So don't worry about those pictures that you've seen that are like way up here. Don't worry about that. If that's your practice, hey, be you, right? But I'm just asking for a little baby cobra. Just a nice little extension of your spine. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back to child's pose or down dog. You choose. This is where you really start to get to make this your practice. Inhale, begin to take little steps, or maybe you want to step big back up to the top. So however you get there is fine. Lifting halfway. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, bend those knees a little bit. Lift up, pull up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Find a moment here. I want you to close your eyes. For the next 3 breaths, I want you to find one thought of gratitude for each breath. Breath 1. I'll just say mine out loud, but yours can be whatever resonates for you. So my first gratitude is that I'm thankful for my health. Second breath, second gratitude. I'm thankful for my friends and family. Third gratitude, third breath. I'm thankful for this connection right here at this very moment. So now taking a big sweep up, let's reach up. Exhale, forward bend, like your swan diving forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take your left foot, step it back again. Nice big giant step. Drop that knee down. check it out. Front knee, always doing your checks here. That knee, if it landed right under your hip, I want you to just see if you can scoot it back a little. All right, so now coming back up, let's sweep. Continue to always be mindful. If your elbows would rather go out to the side because it bothers your shoulders, go for that. That's fine. Let's take it over to one side, reaching right arm, and then left arm. Now let's keep the left arm up, but we're going to place the right hand on your right thigh. So I'm just going to turn a little, and it's going to look backwards from where you are because I was facing the other way, but that's okay. All right, so this left arm now crosses over, all the way over, and if it just needs to rest here, holding onto your thigh, take that. I want you to pull your right shoulder back, see if you can turn and look over to the right side, wherever that is for you. Okay, so looking to your wall, looking to the right side of your room, whatever is available, just take a little visual point, gazing that direction. If you want to take a little more shoulder open or chest open, take the right arm and sweep it back. Still holding on with your left hand. And then let's come all the way back around to center, bringing hands down to the floor or to your prop. So again, if you have something to elevate your hands on, take it here. I'm shifting back, so shift your right hip back, noticing that we're not going to sit down into it. I just want that hip over knee right here. So I want you to think about what if you could shift your weight forward a little bit like you were going to stand up in this right foot. Okay, stay there. Now pull your right foot back a little. You might wiggle the heel forward just a little, toes pulling back, and oh my goodness, do you feel more behind your calf here? Everybody's different. You may be feeling it very differently than I am. That's okay. I want you to take a deep breath. Put a little bend in that knee. Right now the heel will look like it's slightly ahead of your knee. Exhale, see if you can keep your chest sort of towards your thigh and come back down to that same space. Now, if that is just not working, you're like, no lady, not happening. My heart is way up here. I'm not going anywhere. That's okay. That's all right. You stay here. And then still come forward, maybe hands on hips, or this is where those props come in handy. Paint cans, water bottles, whatever they are. Hands on chair. All right. Hamstrings might be pretty tight, especially if we've been seated a lot. Okay. So just move to the level it feels right, and then you might be also the person that's saying, yeah, well, I want to go further. Take it further, all right? No shame wherever you are. All right, let's take one more breath. Inhale. Gently forward, gently back. Find that space. Exhale it out through the mouth. And then let's just take a little moment to send that right leg. Actually, I just thought of something else. I want you to walk your right foot over just a tiny bit. Bring your right hand along the inside. All right, so if you've been practicing yoga for a while, you already know what this is, a little low dragon lunge. If you've never practiced, so I'm showing you here. If you've never done this before, you might be thinking, this is torture. All right, it's not torture, I promise. It might feel like it, but I want you to take a big deep breath through it. Hands, again, might be elevated. They may be on an object, on an ottoman. You might be lifted up a little higher, even though it's a low dragon, you might be lifted higher. Okay? Your hands are just on the inside of that leg. That's what makes it a little different. So take one more breath. Breathe through it. Exhale it out. Let's take a moment. Take that right leg, send it back. And then we just relax. Take a moment, shifting your hips side to side. Oh, I know, I'm starting to feel already nice and loose from when I first woke up this morning. Continue here for just a moment. And then let's take that left leg, send it forward. So again, always remember to move it forward if you got it stuck, just like I mentioned earlier. All right, take any opportunity you have to make yourself more comfortable. And then let's take a moment and place hands toward the floor. Okay. Now, you might want to take a block again. Coming up, let's just take a reach. And take your left arm over to the right. Right hand comes down. And then switch. When I first started, even here with you guys, I wasn't able to touch the floor right there, right? So I'm already getting longer, getting taller. Come back to center. Let's take your left hand to thigh. Start to sweep your right arm across, turning your shoulders with it. Let the hand rest. You might hold on to the outside. From here, I want you to pull back. Take your left arm, reach it back. Deep breath. Rock your shoulder down if it's kind of doing this. Pull it down, bend the elbow a little bit. And last time, with a breath, come all the way back around to center. Taking hands elevated or toward floor. Start to press your left hip back, straighten out that leg. It may not straighten all the way, and I want you to shift your heel forward a little. Give yourself some space and grace. And it's one of my favorite sayings. Give yourself space and grace, whether it's here in this practice or throughout your daily life. Give yourself a break. Okay? Inhale, come forward. If you have elevated objects or a chair or ottoman, take that. Exhale, press back. Inhale, we're way too hard on ourselves. So give yourself a break, all right? You're doing good. Not just here in this practice today. You're doing good. You're doing really good. You're great. You're doing great in your life. I don't care what's going on. You're doing great because I know you're doing the best you can or you wouldn't be here. Okay, so I know you're doing good. Press back. Give yourself a break, okay? Just like I would tell my best friend, give yourself a break. I have to tell myself that. So pause. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, gently come forward, wherever that is. All right, so it might be much higher than where I am. Coming forward might be here. Find yours. You got to do you, boo. You can't do me, and I can't do you. I'm sure that's a song or something. I'm not sure. So take a moment. I want you to gently, just a little bend forward. Inhale, lift your heart a little more, wherever that is. And then exhale, see if you can shift your hip back a little deeper. Maybe the heart comes forward a little more. If your head's coming down to your shin, great. That's fine. If it's staying way up high, that's okay too. All right, so take another breath. Come down as deeply as you care to, and however it feels for you. You can even let your head hang a little. And then we'll come back up. Take a moment. Here we go. If you have those objects or something you can put your hands on, walk them to the inside with you. So now walk your left foot over just one little step, like a toe heel step, where you just kind of angle out and step over. Hands on the inside. That back knee's kind of feeling uncomfortable. Pat it up some more. All right, so I don't want you to feel uncomfortable here in your knee, not in your joints, but you might feel uncomfortable in your hips a little or in your inner thighs. That's to be expected. All right, so I said earlier, we keep a lot of situational stress and tension in our shoulders and in our neck and in our upper back. We keep a lot of emotional stress in our hips and in our low back. So if you're feeling really tight, I mean, some of it could just be the way we're living, but additionally, we do tend to store a lot of emotional stuff in our hips and in our low back. So that feeling of not knowing, that can land there. That sense of feeling kind of the unknown, feeling uncertain, not feeling like you know where you're going, what's happening with your job, what's happening with your income, all of those things, that can land in your hips. So I want you to just take a big deep breath, breathe through it. Exhale out what you don't need. We don't need to carry that around with us. Big deep breath in. It's okay to feel that way, but don't store it, right? It's not baggage. Let it go. All right, so now come back up and let's shift that leg back again. Ooh, all right, shift forward, shift back, shift side to side. And then we're gonna maybe take just a moment back in child's pose again. And then come back up and come to seated. So I'm just gonna walk forward a little bit. Excuse me, I'm gonna take my blanket. I'm gonna roll it up quite a bit. I want a little extra lift here. So if you don't have one, it's okay. And you might even do this seated in a chair if you don't have one. So having a seat here. So now I'm back to facing you. I'm gonna sit a little higher. So taking your right leg and bring it up. So I want you to just kind of shift that foot over a little bit to your left, or excuse me, to your right, rather than right to your inner thigh. I want you to hold on around your knee, lift the heart up, and then lean back just a bit. Find that space where you've got a little more engagement of your core, and you're leaning back. Now lift up even taller, come forward. Bring yourself in. Get a nice little hug here first. Very good. Let's take a nice little open twist first. So we're going to bring that left hand back and just rotate. And then come back around to center. I'm going to take that I keep saying left. Take that right foot and cross it over. Now I want you to let your knee just drop down. So you just got this crossed over, your foot is out to the side. If you feel like you need something additional, you can wedge pillows or anything up under that right hip to give it some support if it's kind of lifted up and not resting. So take another big deep breath in. Exhale, gently come forward. See if you can push out through that straight leg. Feel the back of that leg. Feel the back of that left leg. Inhale. Exhale, coming forward. Notice I'm not really rounding a lot right now, right? So I'm just kind of gently moving, but I'm trying to keep my heart up a bit, the chin slightly down without over kind of lifting. You don't want to cock that chin way up, so we don't want pressure in the back of our neck. And take another one here. Come forward to wherever it feels comfortable to you. Maybe that's lying all the way forward. Maybe it's just kind of hanging out right here or lifting up even higher. So find the space that you can stay in for a few rounds of breath, and we'll take this foot that's over to the side and just give it a little massage, right? When's the last time you did that? Give it a little massage, and if you're like, no, feet freak me out, then forget it, whatever, but it's your foot, okay? Give it a little massage. Our feet are really important. They do a lot for us. Our toes help us balance, and they don't get much loving, so please give them a little bit of love today. Spread them out. Maybe see if you can kind of put your fingers between them. Sometimes I do that with all my fingers, but it's hard right now without lotion. They're kind of stuck, right? But it really feels good when you're done, right? And you can kind of move it around, circle the ankle. Let's come back. I told you we were going head to toe. All right, come back up. I want you to keep that foot on that side, but then pull the knee back up now. See if you can hug it again. Get really nice and tall. Maybe lean back again. Start to now turn toward the knee that's lifted, so over to your right. Hug it in even more. Maybe you're just holding it with your hands, or if you can kind of wrap the inside of your elbow around it, we'll turn deeper and look over to the right. Your right hand can even support behind you. Big deep breath in, exhale it out. Take one more breath, and then come back to center. We'll switch sides, taking that right leg out, left leg up. Give it a little hug. Sitting up nice and tall. That foot's kind of over to the left a little bit. Inhale. Lean back. Exhale, come forward. And now just twisting away from that knee. Come back around to that open space. Take another breath. Feel like you're just kind of pulling your right shoulder around, turning your sternum slightly over to the right, and then back around to center. We'll take the left leg, cross it over, just like you did on the other side, giving it support and help if needed on the underside of your thigh. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, gently move forward. So again, find your space, right? It might not be as deep as mine. It might be deeper even. And it depends on what's happening today and how you feel. Every day is different. Inhale. Follow your body. Right, follow where your heart is telling you to go and leading you. I know it sounds all like new agey, but it's true, right? You just know things, but we tend to not listen. We don't listen to that voice as often as we should. Do what feels right. Listen to what's happening in your body, meaning listen to the signals. If it feels like a nice gentle stretch, stay with it. If it feels painful, back off. All right, so take a moment coming into the most comfortable deep stretch you can. All right, maybe you feel a little tension, but I don't want you to feel pain. All right, so now taking your opposite hand to foot and just give it a little massage. Give those toes some love. Maybe separate them out. Be really surprised. Do you feel that on your other foot? Did you do that with your other foot that's out right now? Do you feel the difference? Kind of feels like a nice little massage. They feel a little more spread out. They feel a little more comfortable. So again, doing head to toe yoga today. Get that foot kind of spread out, maybe rock it around, take it around in a circle a few times. Let's come back to center, release. Keep that foot over to the side, crossing over. Lift up tall, inhale. See if you can just hug it in as much as feels comfortable to you, and then start to turn your chest. Maybe wrapping your arm around it or just holding with your hands. That opposite hand comes back. Everybody feels this a little differently. I have a pretty tight situation that happens on this hip, and I feel it over there quite a bit. And so continue to push that hip down that you're twisting toward. So in this case, you're twisting toward the left. So push the left hip down a little, but pull your knee in just a bit more. See how that feels. And then come back to center. All right. Awesome work. Well, let's go ahead and bring the feet back to the mat or to your floor, wherever you are. Let's have a seat. We're going to roll on back here. So now rolling all the way back. So similar to what we just did, I want you to take your right foot, lift it up, cross it over. So just your ankle this time. Well, we usually call this like a figure 4 stretch because it looks kind of like the number 4, right? Or a reclining pigeon. So then as you're ready, stay here. You can keep that foot down or float your bottom foot up. You kind of push that leg towards you as you're kind of trying to push your your right knee away from you. You can reach the right hand through your triangle. Left hand goes around the back side. Inhale. If you're not comfortable taking hold, keep your foot on the floor or just arms down by your side. Or you can thread like a hand towel, a scarf, or strap or something under there to hold on to. Let's take another 2 breaths. Big deep breath in. And we're releasing what we don't need. Relax the shoulders. Take another deep breath. Maybe close your eyes. Relax the chest, the shoulders, the back is supported. And then release. All right, very nice. Take your right leg in towards your chest. Give it a little hug and send your left leg down. As you take a deep breath here, just take your right arm, reach it out to the right side. Let your left hand guide you over to the left with that right knee. See if you can keep your right shoulder kind of pressed down. It doesn't matter if it's touching the floor, just down. And then back up to center. We'll switch sides, taking right foot to the floor, left ankle across. If you choose, lift that bottom leg. Take that left hand, you can thread it through the triangle. Inhale. Exhale it out. Take 2 more. Inhaling what you want more of in your life right now. And exhaling what you don't need. Take 1 more. This time maybe send a thought to someone else. Very nice. Bring it down. Bring that left leg in. Give it a little hug. Send your right leg down the mat. Both feet are flexed. Then we're just going to take the left arm out to the side. Right arm is going to help guide that leg over. And take a breath. Release it. Come back to center. For just a moment, take legs out nice and wide. Kind of, if you were on a mat, be about the width of your mat or so. Arms out to the sides. Palms are facing up, and they're just kind of at an angle, just whatever feels comfortable. Kind of drop your shoulders back and down by pushing into your elbows. Reach out 1 leg at a time, get long. And here we are in our final relaxation, just for a few breaths. Close the eyes. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale it out. If you like, place 1 hand on top of the belly, 1 hand on top of your heart space. Breathe into the belly, breathe in all the way up to the heart, and exhale it out. With the mouth closed, try your next exhale. So breathe in, exhale out. Last breath. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. You can stay even after this live is over, or you can release here and start to slowly slide 1 foot at a time back to your mat, back to the floor. Maybe shift your hips to one side and then turn to the other, letting your knees rock together. Head rested on your arm for a moment. Place your hand to the floor. Inhale. Take a deep breath in one more time, taking in what you need. Exhaling out what you don't. Come back up. Let's find a space together just where we started. So we kind of made our journey all the way around. I want you to sweep up. Take a big deep breath. Hands go up. They meet at center. Coming down to your heart. Pausing. Just finding that space where your inner wisdom lives. This is a time to really tune in to your inner voice and know that you are strong, you are capable, you are well, and you are doing great. All right? So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm sending love to everyone right now, okay? So please stay safe, be mindful, and take some deep breaths.